Hi, I'm Ethan.
Hi, I'm Glenn.
Hi, I'm Carly. And we are GTA in the Wild.
Morning all. So we're at the Queensland Arms Fairs at Beenleigh on Distillery Road. So we're going to take you through all of our setup and how we've done all this and got the trailer all display ready. And then today we're going to take, well, over the weekend, we're going to take you through all the store holders and show you what's here. So it's a great event. If you haven't been to one before, I suggest you do. We're going to take you through this today and show you what's here. Amazing stuff, just stuff you don't find anymore, especially just in your local gun shop. You need to come to these sorts of fairs to find, those products you just don't normally receive at a local gun store. So get on down and we'll get into it now and take you through everything.
What are you doing?
Oh, we're just putting up the teardrop
Sleeping
banner.
on the roof. No, teardropping.
That's what you're doing because you cut your arm.
I know, look at that. First injury.
Alright guys, that's us all set up.
Yep, so we're at the Beenleigh Arms Fair at the Rum Distillery on Distillery Drive, I believe it is, Beenleigh. So we're here all weekend at the Arms Fair promoting Gun Traders Australia.
Do you want to take us through the site?
Yeah, let's have a look through our setup. So it's pretty flash. So we've got the new, basically the hunting trailer as our display trailer for this event. All set up. We're playing basically all the YouTube videos we've made to date right from day one. So that'll be rolling through. We've got a membership portal where you can join for free. Then we've got some merch in the background, so we've got more to put up there tomorrow. We've got chamber flags, big bore ones as well. We've got our, we've actually got some here now, that's good. So we've got our t-shirts, 2 different colours at the moment, and it's just going to keep growing and growing. So we're going to have thousands of people through at this event. It's a great event, so yeah, thoroughly enjoy it. It's going to be a big weekend. But huge event for gun traders and massive for our dealers. Like, this is huge. This is where our dealers get exposure. Everyone starts to learn about gun traders, and all it does is promote our dealers more and more. So it's a fantastic event for that. So if you're not on board, guys, get on board because we're here to stay. And we're a disruptor in the market, so we're going to promote your business for you. So get on board.
And Mum, can I have some sausage rolls and some pies, please?
Alright, well let's get them out and we'll get them into the travel buddy. Alright. Party pies?
Yep.
Sausage rolls.
Here's your sport. Other end, it's already open. Someone's tired on a Sunday morning.
Alright, so how many do you reckon we're going to need?
I don't know. How many can you have?
Fill it up. If you want.
So
Yeah, let's just fill it up.
we've preheated the travel buddy. It is 8:10 a.m. just to give you a bit of an idea, and then we'll let you know what time it is when they're good to eat. Good to eat.
Just fill it up. I want to see how much we can fit in.
It's already quite warm.
Good.
This will give us a good idea of the quantity.
How are we?
Good.
Good morning.
My father had started doing the family genealogy.
All right,
before he
that's
died.
in, and we'll come back to you when they're ready to go.
Morning all. Here at the Queensland Arms Fairs in Brisbane with Paul Fowkes.
Morning.
Good morning, Paul. Paul's the actual author of proof, stamps and trademarks for rifles, pistols, shotguns and other things. So Paul's going to give us a run through of how he's created this and what it's all about. So you can all jump out there and get one. So just over to you, Paul.
All right then. So basically, I've been a collector since the early 80s, and so with the advent of the internet, information was available. Prior to that, you had to go back to book form. However, with the internet, there's so much misinformation and bad information. And back in the day, the actual standard book on proof mark was called the Standard Directory of Proof Marks, which had been around for well over 50, nearly 60 years. That book in itself only had half a dozen countries. So effectively, we started with getting stuff together in a very, very loose paper format. And I first put it together, it was 40 or 50 pages at one of the Ipswich gun shows, and lo and behold, everything sold. So from there, it just started collecting and collecting. So we ended up with a mass of nearly 60 odd countries, and then it became a bigger and bigger job. Fortunately, we got Ian Skellington around. He's a good mate of ours, does all the gun shows, been there for years. Bit of a guru, 99% of the right times he was right. You hated it when he was wrong, but we still love him when he's wrong. So effectively, he said, oh, well, let's get the best of benefits and put it all together. I've got most of the material, all the material, and why don't you just edit it, because he's brilliant at it. So from there, it rolled even further. He started calling his mates all around the world. As a result of that, we got a section in here on the Japanese stuff. Now, the Japanese stuff has never been published. So effectively, it's become all the Japanese marks. So effectively, it's become a leading resource manual for around the world. The standard directory is virtually no longer used, which is a shame because it's a great publication. And so basically, people now use it as the go-to book. Nearly every weapons licensing in Australia has got a copy. I personally given the Police Minister copies, and a few other his offshoots. It's now in the Australian archives as an important book. And effectively, it's just skyrocketed. Sales all around the world, heaps to the US, distributors in New Zealand. I've even offered copies to the proof houses in London, copies to Belgium. The other thing is we use a lot of resources, not just digital resources, but I've got a good collection of books written by an author in Belgium. And some of the information has been used. He's been credited for that information respectively. We got access to a collection here in Australia, and it's of the Colt revolvers, where he's got a huge collection of Colt Walkers, and you've got $1 million average of these guns. And we were running around his lounge room playing cowboys and Indians.
Where would our viewers get a copy of this?
Well, you can go to either the gun show website, Queensland Arms Fairs, or our other website I use is the Rockwood Arms one, and also the Australian Arms and Munitions website.
Okay.
We've got everything all ready for that.
So what we'll do for the viewers, we'll put a link.
That'd be great.
A link below in the description of how you can get a copy of this book.
So
I think it's a fantastic book, and I think it's going to be something that I'll be getting a copy of. So I'll definitely reach out, guys, and and have a look for it.
We've already started working on the next prototype one.
Yeah, that's
Another
fantastic.
5 years down the line.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh, good.
Thanks, Paul. We might get you to do a bit of walkthrough display for us and show us what you got here today.
Oh, we've got some here. Oh, well, every gun show or arms fairs are centred around the collection, preservation and education of firearms. That's how your collector's licence is worked on. So I've got some of my Japanese stuff here to coincide with what's in the book there. You know, everything from the baby Nambu, all this is all World War II stuff. The only thing I'm really missing is a Type 26 revolver and the paratrooper. I can't afford a paratrooper because it's about 20k. There's $50,000 worth here as it is. And then I acquired some Japanese swords some time back. So I've got some genuine fakes over there and some really real ones. So every arms fair we make sure we get collectors involved. So we've got the Australian SSAA over here. We've got some of the other antiques and stuff, real antiques over the road there. At every arms fair, it could be $2 or $3 or $4 million worth a year. No problems at all. And that's just the stuff that's not for sale. This is the problem with the arms fair. It's all about collecting, education and stuff. And for every sale we do here of something or other, we'll double the time or treble the time telling people about the history behind it.
Yeah.
And especially like the collections and stuff. It's important to get guns at the gun show. People think it's a problem, but generally, if people hold a collector's license, there's no restrictions. They can just, as long as it's stored correctly here at the gun show, and they can bring their collections down at very low costs. Other people bring their collection, like private Joe Blows who've got man cave clearances. We have an exemption that covers them to bring their gear down. But dealers do require a specific exemption issued by weapons licensing, and if they do it right, it's covered for 5 years. So there's no paperwork for 5 years, and once we get here, it's just my job then to run around looking at, making sure it's stored right, there's no problems with it. In the case of, say, deactivated firearms, making sure that they're deactivated correctly, regardless of the fact that maybe a certificate issued. 10 years back, there's been about 8 or 9 variations of how to deactivate firearms, and they've really got to be up to the correct standard now just to make sure they're right. The new legislation that's come in September covers all the knives and even gel blasters, how they've got to be stored. You get a good collection of stuff here, books, cartridge collectors, obsolete cartridge stuff, modern stuff. You can see shitloads of uniforms, they're everywhere. Then there's all the historic stuff. I think the oldest gun here will go back to about early 1700s. The newest ones will be some of my store or over here, RJ Militaria. A lot of German stuff. Parts as well. All the big companies, they might produce guns year after year, like the Remington 700 and all these other ones, but older firearms, they don't produce parts for them. So the gun show is probably the only place to find it, because most dealers, they're interested in, but they can't store them. Microscopic parts, little bolts and nuts. Even like if you want to get your 303 authentic, you may want to get all the screws back in the original days where it had the broad arrow on them. And you can't just buy them anymore. You've got to go to collector shows and stuff. You've got repairs and things. Like we've got a fellow over here who does all the modern reproductions of the 303 stocks because you just can't get them.
Yep.
That's the same for a lot of firearms. Behind us we've got medals and badges and patches. Big collectible stuff. Prices from a few dollars to a few thousands. Jack's Metals over here. He's probably one of the best distributors in Australia. It's probably the best. He travels up from Sydney to every gun show. So we get a big range of people.
All like-minded.
Yeah, it's all about collecting, preserving, and hopefully they try and get their hobbies to pay for themselves at these events, and it's one way of doing it, and a lot of work.
So if people are missing out this weekend, where's the next arms fair? Where can they see it? How do they get to it?
The next one we've got in Queensland, and Queensland's pretty lucky because we have 7 arms fairs a year. But the next one's in Maryborough in this month, and then the whole calendar virtually starts again in March next year. Then every couple of months we'll have Beenleigh, Maryborough, Toowoomba, and then we'll have Toowoomba, Beenleigh and Maryborough again, and in between that we'll have the Gympie Gun Show that's run by the Bowerberg collectors in Gympie. And then maybe
we'll get all those dates off.
Yeah, they're all available on the website. Yep.
So have a look at the links below. We'll show all those when they're on, and we'll give you also a link to the website, so you can jump on the Paul's site and get all the information you need about these top events. They'll also be advertised on Gun Traders. We're a huge supporter of Queensland Arms Fairs, and we'll continue to do so. It's a great group of people that are out there like-minded, and they're putting this together so where you guys can come and enjoy it. So if you haven't got to this one, get to the next one, get to the one after that, because there's some fantastic products here. We're going to walk through shortly and show you what's on offer. To me it's quite mind-blowing what's actually here, and especially if you're into collectibles and stuff like that. Come down and have a look. These guys cannot do enough to help all the storeholders. Everyone's doing what they should be doing. Everything's doing it right, which is make it 100% when the people come in and have a look. So
that's important. That's right. Yeah, very important.
Done really well.
What are you looking at?
Look. Bunch of collector's items.
Good morning, here this morning with Backa Australia. So just going to go through their product range. So I'm here with Sharon. Sharon's going to give us a bit of a rundown on the product and what they have on offer here today. So I'll cut over to Sharon, and Sharon will take us through the product range.
Alright, so we have a Godfather stick with 2% chili, your beer stick which is mild, pepperoni beef and pork, a little bit of cayenne pepper, and then you come to your mild beef and beetroot organic, and then your jerkies, your chili jerky and your beef jerky.
So where would people find you guys that want to buy some product? Can they buy it online? You've got an online
Yeah, we
presence
do
as
online
well? Yep.
business, and also you can come down to the factory at Beenleigh. So
Yep, awesome.
it's all shelf stable, so
Yep.
you can take it anywhere, and 2-year lifespan in the cryovac, and once you open it, it'll last for months anyway.
Yeah. So you don't need to refrigerate any of this?
No.
That's incredible. Yeah, that's awesome. Lucky enough for me, they got samples here. So this is the Godfather sticks. So I'm going to try one of those and let you know what it's like. So let's give it a test. That's good. Spicy, just the way I like it. Awesome thing with this product is it's all made in-house in their facility. So it's their own product. It's not bought in from somewhere overseas. So this is their product. They make it in-house and it's shipped Australia-wide. So fantastic product. Doesn't matter where you live in Australia, you can purchase this direct from these guys. So this is how it's packaged. This is one of the beef jerkies. So it doesn't need refrigeration. So you can pop that in your backpack when you're off hunting and take that with you. And it's got a 2-year shelf life. Once you open it, then you've got to start consuming it. So that's fantastic. We're going to put a link below, so you can click on that and it'll take you to Backa's site, so you can find out where to purchase this stuff. Thanks, guys. Welcome back, guys. I'm still at the Arms Fair. I'm now here with Ben. Ben's from
RJ Militaria.
Yeah, and what do you specialise in, Ben?
We specialise in 303s, Mausers, basically anything that's ex-military.
Yeah, so some awesome gear on
Yeah.
boats. Yeah. So, and how would people find you other than the Arms Fair? Is there a way of people getting in contact with you?
With no advertisement. I work out of home, so I work by myself. I'll give you guys my details. You can put them on your page, and
Sounds great.
We'll go from there.
Happy to do that. So you've got some great stuff here.
Yeah.
I've seen people in over the weekend looking at it. Very impressed with what you've got.
Yeah.
And there's quite a huge selection. And it's not just the rifles, it's all the parts,
So
stuff you just can't find in shops these days.
Yeah, so a lot of ex-military stuff, being guns, ammo, military badges, patches, anything you can think of, we've either got it or I know someone who can. So
Awesome.
And we've got a real life example of that. Yesterday you asked Ben.
The last 2 years I've been searching for a butt end, what's the correct
Butt
word
plate.
for it? Butt plate for a Bruno Mark II 22, and then voila.
yeah, went home, had a look, found one. So
So tonight I'll be putting that on, and I'll have it back together.
be good to
100%.
go.
Yeah,
That's all I like to see.
That's what it's all about. You come to these places, these fairs, and find old parts and rifles you just don't see in the gun shops.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So we're going to do a bit of a pan through of what Ben's got on offer, and then we're going to put a link below of how to find Ben in the future, which will be on our site. And we're going to get some great product up there, so you guys can find Ben and find what you want to buy off him. So,
Awesome.
fantastic.
Thank you
Thanks,
very
Ben.
much.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Okay. All right. We're over here with one of the displays, and this is one of our premium dealers here in Australia. He's got one huge collection, unbelievable values and stuff. In Queensland, we're very lucky. Politicians have some good common sense to recognise that certain guns were of historic nature, high value, and everybody had an idea of how they should be stored. So in Queensland, if you've got historic, say a musket, flintlock pistol, something like any of these ones, or original black powder, in Queensland you don't need a licence, providing that they are historic and they've got to be over 100 years old, must be black powder, cap and ball, or flintlock, and for those who don't know the difference, that's another whole education. And the other thing is, firearms are also declared to have obsolete cartridges. So that means they're no longer manufactured. Now, there's thousands and thousands and thousands upon millions of obsolete cartridges because they're all developed for various reasons. And if they're declared an obsolete cartridge, again, you don't need to be licensed for it, have a firearms license. There's still requirements for how they should be stored. You can't run around in public. You can't run up and down the highway playing cowboys and Indians and that type of thing. You can still get locked up for doing the wrong thing, but generally, people, you don't need a license for them. All these muskets here, Colts, looks like a Adams of some description. Percussion cap, original black, that Adams will be at least 1824. Now, percussion caps started to come in, were manufactured in about 1824. That's where the flintlock system, or matchlock, where the four-length strike will make a spark. So back around the 1820s and stuff, they developed nitrate solvents and that type of thing, with explosives. And they thought, okay, let's put them into make it go cap and bang. So past that, they put a little percussion cap, just put it over the nipple. They were loaded, the actual shot and the powder was loaded in from this end here, and it's just like a roller. So when you see the old cowboys and Indian movies, and they're running around and they only have 6 shots, which they seem to shoot 300, we know that's wrong. But that's why they used to have carry two black powder pistols. They have 12 shots. More guns, more shots. But prior to that, single shot, such as a single shot musket, there'll be one here, or multi-shot flintlock pistols. So anything that's of this nature, so it's at least pre-1824. So after the 1820s, nobody wanted the old style. It's just like no one wants an old car these days. They all want these electric things. You won't get electric guns, but anyway. So let's move on. Then they've got all the various ornate stuff, right? It's pretty well known that most firearms resulted in wars and things like that, or a need hunting, and for example, Civil War in America was the biggest one thing. In England, for the European-based stuff, you've probably got the Crimean War, and before that, you got the Roundheads in the Civil War in the UK. Civil War, they all progressed, and you could talk for years on this and never not have enough knowledge. And this is where the proof marks in the book we mentioned earlier. You'll see the proof mark here. That's a British one, and that's how you start to date them. So it gets complicated. You can spend hours doing every firearm, and I probably have done it. So the other important thing is if you come across something like this, don't destroy it. Don't hand it in. Get it to somebody who has some knowledge of these things, because if they aren't handled right, they end up in the turf. Recently, a friend of mine is mining out at Emerald. He dug up an old Colt. You don't know how he got there. It was in his mine. He bought. He's put it back together. He's done all the paper for it, so it's now legal.
So that's an option if you come across something.
It's a bit of a drama where people attic finds or barn finds. They're still very common. There was guns here brought in yesterday from a deceased estate. And the eldest would go back to probably 1870, 1860, and just being collected in a barn for years.
Yeah.
Granddad they were there, or back in the day when the firearms legislation wasn't the way it is, under the rafters of a house, very common. And these things turn up all the time, and it's not unusual. A gun in my collection was dug up in a chook pen. It cost me more to restore it than it's ever going to be worth. But I know the history behind it.
But that's the beauty of it, though. You've now got something that's an antique and a collectible.
Correct.
And you've restored a piece of history.
Correct. That's what it's all about. I've got a large Belgian collection, and basically the Belgian manufacture stuff started off in the early 1700s, and they basically were like the Chinese of today.
Right.
If something came out, they'd copy it.
Yeah, okay.
The Spanish were the other ones where Spanish didn't recognise anybody's patents apart from their own. So what actually had to happen is everyone was copying the Smith & Wesson pistols back in the day, and Spain didn't give a shit. Basically, they said, okay, we'll do what we want. Yep. So the only way around it was to beat them at their own game and open for the Americans to open up their own patent office in Spain. So that basically put a kibosh on that. Yeah. And it's these pieces of history, these stories that you're relaying right now, Paul, that you wouldn't know that unless you came to an event like this. And people just generally don't know this stuff.
Exactly.
Right? Even weapons licensing, they don't know enough about it as well. They try, but there's so much bloody information out there, you can't put it together. Yes. Yeah. It just doesn't matter. You look around, you've got helmets and stuff, and deactivated firearms over here. They've all got to be done a certain way, and you don't get many problems with them. Yeah. You don't. Because frankly, the argument is, well, can't these be used in a hold-up? Well, very unlikely. You'd get laughed at if you went down the servo and tried to hold on with a musket, wouldn't you?
So true. Very, very true.
Yeah. But you don't get a lot of problems with them. Yeah. You don't get very few incidents. Shooting as a sport generally is exceptionally straight. I'm an instructor. I put about 3,000 people through safety courses. For every category. Yep. I'm doing a course next weekend where out in the rural area where we've got 7 people doing category D, which is very unusual. What's a category D? Semi-auto centerfire. Right. Like AR platform, AK platform and stuff like that.
And that's for your pesties?
Prime production, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you can't just necessarily solve all your problems with a centerfire rifle. You sometimes need, you come across a mob of pigs, 30, 40 pigs. You want more. You want to get rid of more than one, and there's plenty of history behind primary producers who may have got a irrigated rotating, what do you call it, go around centre pivot crop.
Yes.
Where they get mob of pigs come in. It might cost $500,000 to set that up. A mob of pigs can come through that and ruin it overnight.
Yep. And you hear it all the time in the rural areas.
It's all the time.
Yep.
All the time.
So you've got to be able to equip the farmers to be able to ensure that the farming can continue.
Correct. And then you've also got problems, say, with pesticides and things like that.
Yep.
You can't have pesticide registered any meat that leaves Australia. So the EU standards and stuff are very high.
Yep.
And unfortunately, it's one of those dramas as well. You may have a problem with the animal liberation and greenies and stuff saying you can't do this and you can't do that, but they haven't come up with a better idea.
That's right. Yep.
Silly ideas like catch the mice and release them somewhere safe. Well, that's even that's just an astounding, stupid statement, and it has been said.
Yep. We only got to think about a few years ago when they had the rat plague out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I think Peter was one of them who said, "Can't you just catch them and put them somewhere else?" Something silly like that. May not be the exact words, but.
And where are you going to put 1 million rogue rats so they're safe?
Correct. Anyway, I'll let you walk around.
Awesome. Thanks, Paul.
Original black powder, cap and ball, muskets and that type of thing. Modern reproductions you do need licenses.
Okay, let's check these. Yep. Let's them right ready. Wash them up here, Mum.
Let's grab a couple of pies and a couple of sausage rolls out for each of us.
Yep.
Now it is 10:30. We did kind of get a little bit distracted talking to people, so I can't tell you exactly how long it took to get them all. But yeah, 10:30. So we're having a nice morning tea.
Sounds good. I'm bloody hungry. Awesome. Pop them over here so I can have a look. Check that out.
Perfectly squishy pies.
Sausage rolls are perfect.
Perfectly.
How good's that?
Got to have the good old tomato sauce.
And a Coke.
Do you want
Good old Aussie morning tea.
Do you want tomato sauce on your pie?
Yeah, have a good please.
All right, let's get into it.
All right, test one. Tell me how it is.
Might be a bit hot, so.
Nice. Right, I'm signing off and getting into one.
What do you think?
Wooden planes.
That's pretty cool, hey?
$55 tent. If only could buy a real tank for $55, right? Oh, keys.
Vintage safe keys.
I want one. I don't know why. I don't know where I'd put it, but I want one.
Are they a blank?
Yeah, they're blank.
Yeah.
That's a cool key.
I'm going to try and match that.
Fighter pilot helmet, $600. Look at the swords. I might have to come back later and get one. No, I'm not trying to order that. Look at that.
That's really cool.
Old mag.
They're pretty cool, hey?
Okay, so a short and a badge is what I need.
Well, let's go have a look at these cars.
No, it's deactivated. It won't work. Oh, it's a manual. It's a 4-speed. Wait, where's the clutch? There's no clutch. It wouldn't drive. Instead of it smells like mold. Yo! We have to get this resolved. Actually, I think it would. Ooh, I'm gonna play. Kevlar vests. It's not a knife, it's a letter opener. Trust. Trying to figure out what plane it is. Those gotta be like over 10 years old or something. Look at that. Tractor. This one's proper. I don't know how I'd get it to work, but I'd figure it out. Slingshot. That's funny. That's so hilarious. Officer, it's not a grenade, it's a torch, I swear. Now, you could use this to buy a 7-Eleven slushie. It's worth $3. I could buy 2 7-Eleven slushies for that one. And this one's worth 50. Oh my god, monkey. Can you see that? I think you can just faintly see that. That's $600.
I like my twins. They're good.
What about the party fatalities?
Damascus still ones.
Right, that was the show, guys. It was awesome. So plenty of good dealers here, collectors, memorabilia, military, you name it. The show's been great. Good turnout for the weekend. And what we're going to do now is we're going to get on and plan for the next one. So can't wait. So we'll bring that to you on our channel. It'll be in the link in the description below. And we'll be hitting these up, basically going around the circuit now with these guys, appearing at all their future arms fairs. So stay tuned. Cannot wait to see you at the next one. Thanks, guys.